Hello, welcome to my channel. My name is Erica, and this video is episode 10 of my Throwback Thursday series I do here weekly on my channel. Of course, I have to give a huge shout out to Jan Van for being my Throwback Thursday inspiration. She's been doing Throwback Thursdays on her channel for quite some time, and they're all just amazing videos. She chooses amazing palettes to feature in her Throwback Thursday videos. So of course I will link Jan's channel in my description box. And I also have to give a huge shout out to my dear friend and subscriber, Dawn, who has been one of my biggest cheerleaders, if not my biggest cheerleader, in doing this series here on my channel. So the palette I pulled out for this episode is the Urban Decay Naked Honey palette. I got this off of Amazon quite some time ago. I got this and a little thing of the little tube, or whatever you want to call it, of the Urban Decay Primer Potion Eye Primer, which I really like that. I'd like to get another little tube of that because it works really well. But I just think this color story is gorgeous. More neutral, of course, but still gorgeous. We've got browns and golds and yellows and very warm honey tones in here. And I think I'm pretty sure I know what I'm going to do with this palette. I mean, it's very easy to put looks together with this palette because, you know, it's a very monochromatic color story. But I think what I'll do initially is start off with Drip, putting that in my transition area. I'll blend that out, I think, with this shade here called, what is it? Swarm. And then I'm going to put Sting to deepen up the outer V. And then on the lid for shimmers, I think I'm going to use this one here called Amber, and then Honey. That's my favorite shade in the palette, that Honey shimmer shade. Of course, I do have both brows done, and this eyelid is primed in the P. Louise eyeshadow base in Rumor 01. I think I'm going to use the Refer 15 brush that Janny Boo sent me. Yes. I really use the 14 and the 13 quite often, but I need to, you know, continue to use the other brushes she sent me as well. But the 13 and the 14 are just such great sizes for me. Oh, they're amazing. I love them, especially like the 13 for the outer V area. My 13 has been used quite a bit, and I do need to wash that pretty soon. But Jan let me know that you probably shouldn't be washing natural hair brushes as often as you wash synthetic brushes. So I've just been kind of cleaning it off, you know, with my color switch and stuff, which the color switch works really well. And, you know, I know it's important to keep your brushes clean and stuff, but I don't know. I don't ever, well, yeah, I don't ever wash my brushes after every use. A lot of times what I'll do is I'll use a brush, put it in the little dirty container for my dirty brushes, of course. And then later on, when I finally have time, I will wash all my brushes. But, you know, I'm the only one using my brushes, so it's not like half the neighborhood's coming over here and using my eyeshadow brushes and I'm using them too. It's not how it works. I just got something in that eye. I don't know what it was, but didn't feel very good, but I got it out. It's a little red and watery, but I got it out. Hopefully it's calmed down by the time I do my other eye, or that's not going to be very fun. The thing that I love about this brush too is how narrow it is towards the end here. So when you go into like your crease transition area, it keeps the shadow right where you want it. You know, a lot of times I'll end up with shadow on my lids, which is fine because I just cover it up with a shimmer anyway. And I do have a little bit, but not nearly as much as I get when I use other brushes. So that's what I love. And I just like how these feel too. You know, they just feel really nice on your skin. They're not, you know, harsh or scratchy or itchy or pokey. Nothing like that. I think I'm good for now. I really like that. It's a beautiful shade, very rich in pigment. It's beautiful. So now I think what I'll do is go into the shade here called Swarm and blend that shade out with that shade. And of course, I'd love to know if you guys have this palette or what other palettes do you have from Urban Decay? This is the only Urban Decay palette that I have, which honestly kind of surprises me because I really love their color stories, like the Naked series, you know, like the Naked Heat, Naked Cherry, Naked whatever. There's a ton of them. And I just think they're all gorgeous. You know, I really thought about picking up the Naked Cherry at some point, but I didn't. I did have the C-color dupe of that called the Cherry palette, and I ended up gifting that to Pia, Makeup by Pia W. I had done like a collection declutter video, and she had mentioned, oh, that's such a pretty palette. and I just hadn't really been using it. Not that I didn't like it. I'd used it a couple of times and I really liked it. But when she said that, I thought, you know, maybe she would like this palette. So I messaged her and I said, would you like this? And she's like, are you serious? Yeah, I'd love it. So I sent that to her. And I'm positive she's filmed with it. Yeah, I like that. Although I feel like I took it up a little too high right there. And I don't really know that I love that. So I think what I might do actually is go into a lighter shade in the palette. Let's see, this one right here, this one is called, what is it called? Flyby. That's more of like a satin shade, but I think I'm going to use that right around the edge there just to kind of chill that out a little bit. And I think I'm just going to use this brush for that. I know this is not really what this brush is intended for, but it's, I like how, you know, narrow it is. So I'm just going to kind of go around the edge here, which this is going to look a little funky because it's a satin, but I will finesse that a little bit more here in just a minute. But I just wanted to kind of take that, it looked a little funky right there. It still looks a little funky. I'll keep messing with it, but yeah, I really like to brighten up under my brow bone sometimes, not all the time, but sometimes. Just kind of depends on what mood I'm in or how the look is coming together. I don't know what it depends on sometimes. Sometimes I don't even know why I'm doing what I'm doing. I love how that looks. I think it's very pretty. It blended beautifully. So now I'm going to go into Sting and just deepen up the outer corner into my crease with that. I just remember when I really got into watching a ton of makeup content on YouTube, one of the main creators I would always watch is Jen Phelps. And she, you know, had a ton of just amazing eyeshadow collection videos. And I can remember her having, I think, all of the Urban Decay palettes, you know, and it was so cool to watch her show them and talk about them. And I don't know, I felt like I learned so much about makeup, especially eyeshadow palettes, from watching her content. And I recently just watched, I haven't watched the whole thing because it's like 3 hours long, but she has a more recent eyeshadow palette collection and declutter video. And I've watched the majority of it. I just kind of watch it in chunks when I have the time to do that. And I'm telling you, her collection is just incredible. And she knows everything about makeup, you know, really, when something was released, and I just tons of information about it. I'm like, how does she remember all that? Because she's got a huge collection. And, you know, she's more of a, well, I mean, she uses her makeup, of course, but I would say she's more of like an eyeshadow palette collector, you know, like to have the full sets and just, and like for comparison purposes, all kinds of different reasons that she has makeup, which I think is wonderful. But yeah, it's really interesting to watch her content, and especially her collection videos. They're like my faves that she does. So if you're not familiar with Jen Phelps, which I'm sure you are, can't imagine that you wouldn't be, but you know, everybody watches different people here. I'm going to go back into Drip and just blend that Sting shade out a little bit. I'll link Jen's channel in the description box so you can go check her out. I really enjoy her content. Always have. She's really one of the main inspirations of mine in terms of just falling in love with eyeshadow palettes, getting more eyeshadow palettes. You know, I mean, my choice to get the palettes. I'm not blaming anybody for the reason why I have over 200 eyeshadow palettes. But I don't know, she just really turned me on to trying different brands, trying different formulas. And it's been really a fun journey, you know, just to have the collection that I have. I love it. Okay, I think everything is blending beautifully. Oh, I love this palette. Oh, I love it. So now let's jazz this up a little bit with the shimmers. And I'm trying to decide if I want to use, I mean, I'm definitely going to use honey, but I don't know if, should I put amber? Yeah, let's just go for it. I'm going to put amber here and then honey towards the front. And, you know, I want to say a huge thank you to several of my subscribers when I did my last collection and declutter videos, because I kind of started that video off. Where is my spray? I found it right here. It was back behind my brush container. I kind of started off that video a little salty because I'd watched a video, a creator that I know better than to watch, because they just get me all irritated and kind of triggered, and I know better. And this person had talked about collections and how, you know, people who have large collections are horrible, basically. And, you know, this person does not have a large collection. And so how dare anybody have a large collection? Blah, blah, blah. And I don't know. It just, I shouldn't have watched the video. I know better. But anyway, I was feeling some kind of way when I sat down to film my collection video, like feeling like I had to defend my larger collection, feeling like, you know, people were going to judge me harshly for having a larger palette collection. And so I, you know, started that video off in that vein. And there were so many people that were like, you know what, you don't have to explain why you have a large collection. It's your collection. Who cares? Like, as long as you love your collection, that's all that matters. And we're all here for it. You know, we all want to watch it and see your collection. So who cares what anybody else says about larger collections? And I thought, you know, that's awesome. I just really appreciated that because I don't know, I just was not in the best mood when I first sat down to film that video, feeling this like, oh God, what are people gonna think? And, you know, so I was very defensive when I first started filming that video. And I got through it, you know, just fine. Absolutely I did. But just really appreciated the kindness and really helped me realize that, you know, not everybody feels the way that this other person feels. So yeah, okay, I cleaned that brush off and now I'm gonna go into Honey and put that towards the front. I love the shade, it's beautiful, very warm, kind of orangey gold, really pretty. That's what I have to remind myself, like, you know, obviously everyone's entitled to their opinions about makeup and collections and whatnot. Oh, that shade is so beautiful. And I understand that, you know, but I just, and I know I've mentioned this a bajillion times, the negativity about other people's stuff is what I get really tired of. I really get tired of that. And, you know, I know who does it. I know who's going to say it. And I just need to avoid, and I do avoid channels like that. But every once in a while, I don't know, I'll just be like, well, let's see. And then I'm like, yep, nope, we're still doing it. We're still going to bash other people, other people's collections, other people's makeup application choices, you know, and I just think there are so many other things people could talk about in a video rather than sitting there going on and on about how, you know, they do things the right way and everybody else does it the wrong way. And I'm like, okay, I just think it's ridiculous. Oh, I love that. And I am taking my shimmers up higher. I'm trying to get more mindful of that because they're gonna blow up there anyway because I have hooded eyes. It just looks strange to me at first, but then I get kind of used to it. Now I'm gonna go into Sting and just kind of make sure the outer edge of that shimmer doesn't look quite so funky. So I don't know, I guess what I'm getting at here is I'm just really happy that on my little corner of YouTube, I have so many supportive people here and also people that are just very accepting and loving and supportive of just doing what you want to do and having what you want to have. I really appreciate that a lot. So I think I'm pretty much done with this look. I love it. I really do. I love this palette. So happy I pulled it into this episode today. So I will go clean this up, do my other eye, the rest of my stuff. I'll be back. So this is my finished look, and I love how this look came together. I am so happy that I have the Urban Decay Naked Honey palette in my collection, and even happier that I pulled it into episode 10 of Throwback Thursday. So of course I'll show you the palette again, but let me show you just a few things I threw on my face for my finished look. On my lips, I grabbed a ColourPop Lippy Sticks in the shade Oh Behave. I thought the behave part would be perfect for a honey themed eye look, right? Pretty cheesy. But this is a lip product that I often forget that I have. I don't know why, because I love it. It's very emollient. I mean, it's a traditional lipstick. It's not going to stay on my lips all day. And I don't ever take makeup with me to work. So by the time I get home tonight, this is not going to be on my lips. But for now, I think it looks beautiful. I love how it feels. And I think it's a beautiful shade. I love dark brown lip shades, my favorite. For my mascara, hold on just a second. I use the Banger again from Makeup Mecca, loving this mascara. And then for my upper lid liner, I use the L'Oreal, let's see, L'Oreal Paris Infallible 12-hour super slim felt tip liner in brown. And I have had this for so long and it works really well still. It's got a very thin tip to it, which I like. Here, I'll just show it to you. Very thin, you know, just really, it is super slim. I don't know, it just works so well. Some days it doesn't work as well as others, but today it was a total champion. And then for my inner corner shade, I grabbed my Warhorse of a highlighter palette. This is the Luminizer 1 from Profusion. And I use this shade right here in the middle called Wonderland. I know I have to kind of tilt this because it's going to get too glary, but it's a beautiful gold highlighter shade. I love it. I did start off by using the Flyby shade in my inner corners, and that just looked a little too chalky. So I'm really happy I pulled out my Luminizer 1 highlighter palette. So now let's talk about the Urban Decay Naked Honey palette. I love the shimmers in here. I really do. I loved both of these shimmers together. I like the rest of the shimmers in here too. I think I've used all of them. I don't know that I've used that one. I probably should use that one today, but it's okay. I can use this palette again. And I do love the mattes. They are so blendable, very nice pigmentation, you know, just really easy to put looks together with this. I know obviously this is a very monochromatic palette and maybe not for everybody. It's more neutral, but I love the browns, the earthiness, the golds, the honeys. I mean, this is a very, honey representative palette, I feel like, you know, perfect title for this palette, Naked Honey. It's gorgeous. Yeah, this shade, I loved it under my brows, but I just didn't really like it as my inner corner shade. There's nothing wrong with the shade. I just, you know, me personally, I was like, meh. But the rest of, well, all of this palette, not the rest of it, all of this palette, I love. So happy that I have this, really, really happy. And I don't know if this is still available anymore on the Urban Decay website. I do see this though. I feel like I saw this not long ago on the Amazon website. So if you can't get it off Urban Decay and you're wanting this, maybe see if they still have it on Amazon. I know sometimes with Amazon products, you're not always sure what you're gonna get. I got a Physicians Formula bronzer one time off Amazon, and I know it was not from Physicians Formula. It was horrible. But I feel like this palette works really well. I think this is the real deal. So of course, let me know what you guys think of my look. Let me know if you have this palette in the comment section and what you think of it, what your favorite shades are to use out of the palette. We can chat about that in the comment section. Thank you guys so much for taking time out of your lives to sit down and watch this video. If you're new here and you enjoyed what you saw, please consider subscribing, smash the like button, and of course, comment down below in the comment section. I love to chat with you guys there. If you've been here before, thank you so much for coming back. I cannot wait to see you guys again in my next video. But in the meantime, please take very good care of yourself. Be well, safe, happy, and I will see you soon. Bye.
Drop it.